Thank you very much. Before I get to that question, I will be as realistic as possible because when I engage in anything to do with youth, I never like to sugarcoat reality because I grew up in an underprivileged community and family. And being underprivileged is not any reason not for you to achieve anything in life because it's not an indictment, neither it is punishment. We will never have people at equal levels in life. But what we have equal is that we've got potential and we need to inspire one another to be able to leapfrog from the bottom to the top. And why I'm bringing this is because the discussion of youth in the continent sometimes misses a narrative, and a false narrative falsifies development. And I decided to bring this perspective because if we do not make the case to inspire young people to know that they need to turn their potential into reality, they need to turn their talent into a skill and add effort to that skill to achieve a result, we will continuously make them to think that they are powerless. And that is a narrative that I've seen across the entire African continent as I engage with young people. And I think we need to start now becoming very, very realistic when we're discussing youth, because there are two things that are happening in the continent. I'll get to answer your question. I thought I need to put perspective to this. We have a deficit in this continent today, and it is an inspirational deficit. We have a passion deficit in this continent today. If you look across government policy across the continent, most governments do have policies on youth. They do have a youth fund. But when you take an analytical view, which I have done with the countries, nearly all of them do have youth policies. They have a youth fund. That youth fund is not even assessed by youth. Why? Because Elizabeth said something which was very, very important. Youth do not like to work among other youth, some of them, and they are not also patient. They give up so quickly, and therefore that attitude has not been talked about. And that attitude is costing them opportunities. That attitude is costing them opportunities to turn community challenges into ways in which they can put money in their pocket. That's it. What we have been doing is that when you look at the continent today, we talk of underprivileged. Actually, Africa literacy rate is at 70%. And there are even some countries that have literacy rates above 90%, even above the global average. But sometimes to try and learn the continent that, oh, we have impoverished youth, we have youth who are underprivileged, when the best solutions globally that I've seen generated out of nothing, I've seen them in this continent, done by youth who have not gone to school. Even the dress I'm wearing here has been produced by a youth who hasn't gone to school. Isn't it nice? So the point I am trying to make is that we need to capitalize on people's strengths. And what we have done effectively is to do three things. First, we have tried to guide youth in the process of making them to identify with what they are best at and retool their skills to take that to the next level. If you are a carpenter, how can you be able to learn skills to make a solar dryer that can help a farmer in a village dry her vegetables, and in the course of doing that you put money in your pocket? How can you be able to make sure that somebody who hasn't gone to school but have a skill of understanding how you can turn waste to briquettes to replace charcoal and tap into a 20 billion US dollar industry of charcoal happen? But when we start to equate somehow background with opportunity, we miss the point. When we start to equate lack of finance to lack of opportunity, you miss the point. Because I did volunteer myself for 1 year without being paid, and that experience gave me an opportunity to apply for a scholarship.
Let me cut you short. Was it because you had the luxury to do so, or was it because you really wanted to volunteer? Because that's also an issue sometimes. Youth are available and they want to do, but they don't have the privilege to do some of the things they want to do.
They don't have the privilege because of a false narrative that you must only volunteer in an institution to then be able to show that you are volunteer. You as an individual, you are an institution. We have social media today. If you look at what you can learn from social media, from YouTube, all the aspects of how do you fabricate briquettes, how do you fabricate a solar dryer, you can learn it. You don't necessarily need an institution. How did I volunteer? Actually, I was looking around. I had passion to understand how can you write a project proposal, and I saw an NGO and I went in there and said, I want to learn how to do that. And I explain what I was bringing on board. And what you have said is very important. When you project liability, powerlessness by saying, I don't have money, I need you to help me, you are a troubled asset. Nobody wants to invest in a troubled asset. Project strengths. When you do not project your strength, you cannot seize opportunity. And inspire people by projecting their strength, not their weaknesses. Because when you project your strength, somebody will say, oh, this person has something that I don't have, and then he will give you opportunity. But when you project your weakness, say, I come from a poor home, you are already a liability and people will not want to associate with you because you are complaining. And this is a narrative that is not given to the youth in the continent today. And sometimes, let me just end by saying this. What I have seen across the work that we are driving through innovative volunteerism across the continent is that it's not about finance. There are youth who have the finance, but it have not even sustained over 6 months. Why? Because they didn't have the passion. And they needed to do 3 things, which I would like to leave you with here today. The first is, each and everyone, regardless of whether you are a young person in terms of age or young at heart, you must develop what I call an on-borrowed vision. What is an on-borrowed vision? Very simple. I come from a community that is suffering. I see mothers each and every day going to bed hungry. What can I do to be able to take that community to the next level? Regardless of which institution you are, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it is what you do to touch a life that matters. And that means you need that self-introspection to develop where you want to go, so that in any work you do, you always want to touch people's lives. And the second aspect, you then need to self-evaluate. What do you have as your strength? My strength is in talking. Can I use it to inspire one another? If it is in singing, can I use the music to be able to showcase solutions to people, instead of using it to bash and becoming complainers in chief? The third one is skill through tooling. Your skill is your biggest premium. Even if you are given $1 trillion US today, and you cannot be able to add value, you will still become redundant, because money, you will never have enough money. That's the truth. Money is never enough. And you will never have enough money. Just take that. What you can offer is value, and value can only come when you retool your skill, because your skill is your biggest premium. And a skillful person is 15 times more than natural capital, and 4 times more than actually value that is added to any natural resource. And lastly, you must develop these 3 aspects: passion, persistence, and patience.